Well, Tuesday, and it's early afternoon, very sunny and nice on the North Camden Hampstead Heath, and as we enter the somewhat woody undergrowth. Today in the US versus Julian Assange, we look at the difference or the similarity between the US and the UK as our pandemic lockdown eases in both the US and the UK. Trump recently criticising the World Health Organization for their Chinese bias or whatever latest nonsense is, and having dismissed the United Nations International Criminal Court, the UN rapporteurs on torture and inhuman and cruel treatment of prisoners, and blame anyone but your own administration for these crazy policies that have led to the casualty rate in the US and in the UK being far greater than it should have been had we had a more socialist and responsible management. In the UK, Boris Johnson is now completely the US bitch, not caring about human rights, the rule of law, the Magna Carta, and follows a line that he's actually way too busy at the moment with the COVID pandemic to have any time or thought to Julian Assange or the liberties that they have denied their own citizens in March with the Coronavirus Act 2020, leaving journalists, publishers and their sources to either languish in the hell. In the UK that is represented very nobly by Belmarsh Prison and our good friend Governor Rob Davis, known for his torture and his isolation regime and the lack of care for the inmates and the staff at Belmarsh Prison. Support your own local and national press and politicians who come out and support Julian Assange. Make sure that you keep their feet to the fire, and also to pressure all those currently holding the positions of power in the higher echelons of the UK, the US, Australian, Swedish and Ecuadorian governments that have all played their role in the continuing incarceration, show trial and rendition to the US, if they have their way, which has bedevilled the US versus Julian Assange for 10 years, giving credence to these neocon merchants of death and their evil preachers of hate. Boris, I know you're busy, but pay attention to what's happened to our liberty and Julian Assange's fate at this very moment. And Donald, stop saying shit. Stop making up stuff about cures and nonsense about China. And the sad thing about Trump is the one conspiracy where he tends to be a little more accurate than everything else is on the Democratic National Congress and their attempts to derail all their progressive candidates, Bernie Sanders, etc. Not only in 2016, but making the same mistakes in 2020 if they think Joe Schmo is going to vote for Joe Biden. Nonsense, absolute and utter poppycock. So EF Press in the woods, hiding out from the forces of the deep state. EF Press checking an update, and please keep up the pressure. The work being done by supporters, journalists, independent and not, could save his life. It must save his life, because if we see him in the state in that prison where he actually dies, the responsibility, the culpability is ours, and that there is no hiding from, and that is the truth on the heath. EF Press, ducking and diving.